There we go. I think I got the picture that I wanted for my thumbnail. I'm live. Surprise. Surprise live stream on a weekend. I tweeted about it about 10 or 15 minutes ago that I wanted to go live because I have some free time on a Sunday. So we'll see if anyone actually hops into the old live stream here. Oh, I know what I need to do. I need to share this, as any good YouTuber would do. Let's see. There's that. If there is anyone jumping in the chat, I will be with you momentarily. That is going to be the plan. And in fact, I do see people hopping in. So just bear with me a sec, guys. It's really frustrating, man. The last live stream I did, like, I don't know, a week or 10 days ago, man, my internet was just not cooking. And when I watched some of the replay, it was bad. The connection and oh my God, the resolution got so terrible. Stay a while and listen. Ooh, here is that. I have to maneuver around my stupid pop filter. There we go. Got the picture I wanted, got the live stream going, got people in the chat. Let's see. Okay, what's happening, everybody? Thanks for waiting for a sec here. I am the least professional YouTuber live streamer you will ever find. I definitely am not the most professional. Falcon Black, what's up, man? Good to see you here. Says salute. Tihomir Simon, greetings from Denmark. What's up, man? Thanks for being here. SU Dropkick Nation. I always wondered, I've seen your name before. Is that in relation to Dropkick Murphys by chance? Ryan Steffen, what's happening? The Armchair Analysis. Brandon P. Jarmo Salmela. Sunny FB. What's happening? How's my day going? My day is going well. It's a Sunday. It's, my day off. And as I mentioned on Twitter too, I finally got what I'm calling phase 1 of my my soundproofing project, my studio building in my garage in my new home here for music and the 2 bands and my drumming and all of that good stuff. So that felt really good. We got that done yesterday. Me and a buddy of mine who's one of my bandmates, he came over and we got a whole bunch of stuff done. It's looking good. It's sounding much, much better, but there's still a ways to go. But with that done, it's like I have actually nothing to do today, And again, you can't go to movies. You can't go to bars and restaurants right now, at least not if you want to be smart and safe. So just hanging out, being lazy. I got a little bit of exercise this morning, went for a walk, and played some Ghost of Tsushima. And I was like, I'm going to do a live stream because sometimes, for me as a YouTuber, sometimes I get that itch to want a video. But if I don't really feel like there's much to talk about, it's like I don't really want to force a video if there's nothing I actively care about, and there's some news stories and stuff out there, but there's nothing I really wanted to make a video about, but I wanted to do something. And so it's like, I'll just do a live stream. Anyway, so that's my day. That's my day so far. Iba Rita says, hey, Rob, what do you think of Nintendo focusing more on Mario games and slowly following the trend of Sega with Sonic? I'm just worried they're not doing their consoles justice since the Wii U era. So are you worried that they're focusing too much on Mario the way you feel Sega focused too much on Sonic? I don't know if they're one-to-one comparisons. I get the instinct to compare them because Mario and Sonic are they're totally comparable. But what Sega's done with Sonic, I don't think it's so much that they focus too much on Sonic. I think if you look at the number of Sonic games that they've made and the timing between those games, I think it's been fine for a mascot that leads a company. The biggest issue with Sonic, and maybe what you're thinking, is that they haven't made that many really good Sonic games, And that hurts me to say. I say that as a huge Sonic fan. I freaking love Sonic. I grew up on Sonic, but like the original 16-bit Sonic. But even I can admit, like they've made a bunch of not very good games. With Mario, yeah, Nintendo focuses more on Mario than other things, but like they always sell like crazy. Any game with Mario sells like crazy, and the vast, overwhelming majority are really, really good. So we have to remember that when it comes to that. I do want to tell you guys, because of my really bad internet connection last time I live streamed, if my connection and my quality starts to dip, you should let me know, because I might want to try to fix or change some stuff. So if I start to sound bad or look really bad like last time, you should let me know, because I do want to know if that's happening. Anyway, so yeah, I don't think that Nintendo's doing anything wrong by Mario. Paper Mario's good, Mario Kart's good, Mario Odyssey's good. Like they just don't really. Am I missing something? I don't know. Well, Mario Tennis. I didn't like Mario Tennis, but most people thought it was fine. Mario Party seems to be good. You can't really. Nintendo, I think, has shown that you can't make too many Mario games, right? So let me move this thing around here. So that's my take. That's my opinion. Good question, though. Brandon says an announcement at the next General Direct about Ori and the Will of the Wisps coming to Switch in spring 2021 would be great. That's so specific. But yes, that would be great. I'd love to see Ori and the Will of the Wisps come over. It's tricky because now we know that Microsoft and Moon Studios are bringing like a definitive version of that over to the Xbox Series X. But I would love to see it on Switch. That game is amazing. I mean, I'll be real with you guys. Ori and the Will of the Wisps is currently still my favorite game of 2020. It's my number one game. Last of Us didn't surpass it. Ghost of Tsushima didn't surpass it. Paper Mario is good, but it's not that good. So I would love to see Ori, the second Ori, come over to Switch. It would do really well, I think. Juan Cruz Ortero says, "Hey Rob, greetings from Argentina. What's up, man? Thank you for watching all the way from Argentina." Maxime FLT says, "Hi Rob, currently watching from France where it's 11 p.m. Weird. It's 1:50 in the afternoon here. It's like middle of the day. You can see the sun behind me here. And sounds like it's nighttime where you are in France, but thanks so much for watching. I love doing these early live streams are the best, man. It's so much fun. Although I wish it was late enough for me to have a beer. Instead, I'm usually having coffee or tea, or I just have water here in my thing. It says Star Wars. My boss gave this to me for my birthday. This thing keeps water so freaking cold, you guys. I don't know if you can hear it. There's like ice clinking around. This thing, when it's sealed, keeps ice solid as ice for like almost 24 hours. It is crazy. I could go to sleep and wake up the next morning and the ice cubes I put in here will still be ice cubes. It's complete madness. Anyway, you guys don't care about that. You came here for video games, not Star Wars water containers. Evan V says, "Is this a new camera or have I not paid attention lately?" So two things on the camera thing. One is I use two different cameras. When I make videos, I have a different camera that's higher quality, and that has that fisheye lens that I use for making videos. When I live stream, I just use a webcam, and it's the Logitech C922 I think it is, or C9922 or whatever. I use that. The difference you're noticing now is I actually bought some really fancy professional lights. So I was previously using a desk lamp, both in my last office in my last house and then here in the new house. I've been using a desk lamp, and it's tricky because the lighting is so inconsistent. Like, I don't know what it is, but like some videos, the lighting will look really good. Some other videos, it won't look as good. And it just got really annoying. And I was like, I'm just going to splurge on some little professional, really nice LED lights. So you can see the reflection here too of the one on this side. I've got two on each side, and it makes a huge difference in quality, right? Like a huge difference. So that's probably what you're seeing, I would think. Okay, all sorts of stuff is coming in now. Holy smokes. We got 61 people in here. That's pretty sweet. Thank you guys for tuning in. And again, reminder, if my quality dips, please let me know, because that means there's a problem with my internet and I might have to call Comcast about it, because last time was just not okay. So please let me know. Stakona says, "Who is this super sexy hunk of a man I'm looking at right now?" Is it my Anakin? It's Anakin, right? Darth Vader. That's who it is. Can't be me. It's got to be Anakin. But I'm gonna skip down a couple here, and oh my God, Larry V with the super chat with the donation, dude, $1.99. Thank you so much. Says glad to catch another of your streams. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Appreciate that you're here. I might have to start. I'm gonna have to start skipping some questions, guys, because I'm getting quite a few. Let's see. Teomir says a 2-week collection is coming out 3DS on August 7th. Wow, I didn't know it. The only thing I know that a TUI does off the top of my head is Mutant Mudds, I think, right? Is that not the Mutant Mudds guys? I'm not really interested. I didn't even really care for Mutant Mudds. I played that on the Wii U or the 3DS or whatever. It's good. It's just not for me. So I won't be snagging it. I do still have my 3DS though. So I don't know. Maybe. Tell me if you think it's good. Lego Star Wars was, yeah, I know. Brandon says Lego Star Wars was still slated to be released on Switch this fall, right? As far as I know, yes, but that game has also gone completely silent, which is annoying because I actually really want that game. I don't like the Disney trilogy movies, and I borderline hate The Rise of Skywalker, but I still want that game, man. I really want to play all the movies together as a Lego game, especially on the Switch would be really cool. But I don't know. When's the last time we heard about that game? Maybe right at the beginning of the year or right at the end of the year? Really kind of sucks that just disappeared. Stakona says, good lighting affects the video quality the most. Yeah, video quality for sure it does. You're right. Armchair says, is it possible we Fall Guys on Switch? Wait. Is it possible we Fall Guys on Switch? Most think it would run okay on Switch. I don't know what you're talking. Is Fall Guys a game? Because I have not heard of it. If Fall Guys is a game, I'm not sure. So I have no idea, unfortunately, on that one. Love the lights in that case. Oh, cool. Thanks, Evan. Hello, Silent Birthday. PK Gav says, Rob, given the team at Retro is working on Prime 4, would you rather... Oops, stop moving around. Would you rather it be on a newer, powerful hardware plus digging the Star Wars figures? Oh, thanks. I've got all sorts of Star Wars stuff. You can barely see up here a bunch of clone troopers that I have. Clone trooper figures. Well, I mean, the Retro doesn't have much to do with this question, really. Here's the thing. Because they restarted Prime 4 now a year and a half ago, and because I think it's almost for sure, still another probably 2 or so years away, I've been saying, you guys have heard me if you watch my videos for at least a year. I've been saying I now expect the Metroid Prime 4 to launch, around 2022, which is also around the time I think their next console might be gearing up to launch. And so would I rather Prime 4 be a next-gen game? I mean, right here and now, I think my answer would be no, because I would rather have the game immediately. I would rather have it be releasing next month, ready to play on the current Nintendo Switch, and I'm a happy camper. That's what I would prefer. But considering the scenario is that I think it's pretty far away, and I think it'll probably be around the time that the next Switch the next console's coming out, then I start to think about it being cross-gen or maybe even exclusive to the next console. And yeah, that totally gets me excited. It's like, if we're already going to be waiting for the game and it's already just going to release around the time a next console might release, in that situation, yes, I would prefer to play it on the next console. So it really just kind of depends, I don't know if that makes sense the way I'm answering your question, but that's kind of what I see. Oh my gosh, so many tags, so many questions, you guys. Sorry, it's hard for me to get to everything. 13 Wolves says, if all 3 of the Mario 35th anniversary remakes are true, which do you think will sell the most copies? Oh, I think it would probably be, well, so it's what, 64, Sunshine, or Galaxy. It depends on how they remaster them and if they're sold in a collection or if they're individual. Like maybe they put more effort into remaking Mario 64 than they would for Galaxy. So maybe more people get more excited about a fully remade game as opposed to maybe just a remastered and HD version of Galaxy. It just depends. I mean, I think Galaxy has the most name recognition now because it's the more recent of these games. And I think that even the youngest gamers and youngest Nintendo fans out there right now probably have played Galaxy, whereas they probably haven't played Sunshine or 64. And so they might just be more inclined to buy the remaster of the game that they already know, and a game that's just more famous. Like, 64 is really famous, but Galaxy, I don't know. I feel like it in today's climate has a little bit more name recognition than even Mario 64. Mario 64 is 20 years old, 26, 24 years old, which is crazy to think about. I'm so old, man. And so I just don't think that it has the name recognition. But there's a chance that the dark horse could be Super Mario Sunshine. And that would be if they remake the hell out of Super Mario Sunshine and they improve it to such a degree that it gets all the headlines. Like, most polarizing game, most polarizing Mario game, Sunshine gets amazing remake that makes it, better than Mario Odyssey and better than Mario Galaxy. Like, if it's that good and the headlines and the reviews reflect that positive of a change to the game, keeping in mind I like the game, but if they improve it that well and people know about it, it might be such a big deal to people to know that it's so good now that they'd be like, oh man, it's finally time for me to play a good Sunshine game. Maybe that's a way that I could see it selling more than Galaxy or 64. But of course, this is all predicated on this, whether or not these damn games are even real. Like, I tend to believe them, but what the hell, man? Why have we not yet heard Nintendo talk about these Mario games? I mean, maybe they're not real. Just because I believe it doesn't mean it's real. I don't know it. It's nothing I've heard behind the scenes. So, and if that info is out there behind the scenes, no one's talked to me about it yet. So maybe they're just not real, but I certainly want them to be. All right, let me skip down here. Sorry, I'm missing everyone's questions. I'm going to skip down a little bit, you guys. Hey, Joey, what's up, Joey Ferris? Joey's here. Yellow Kazoo is here. I love that when I got some of my YouTube buddies up in here. What does Joey say? Hey, Rob, did you hear about the new next-gen Switch rumor? I sure did. Apparently, the next console is going to use DLSS 2.0, which basically makes games look and run better. Yeah, I've read about it a little bit. I've heard about it. I've heard about it. And I also saw, I think Rich, Review Tech USA, just posted a video about it too. So from what I understand, as somebody who is obviously really not good when it comes to tech stuff, is that the idea is that NVIDIA is working with something, and I think this hasn't even been confirmed to be for Nintendo. From what I also gather is that this thing, people are connecting this to Nintendo and Nintendo hardware without anyone actually saying that it's the case. I get that logically we're all putting the pieces together and it's like, oh, well, this makes sense to be for Nintendo hardware, maybe next-gen Switch. I get that, and it probably is, which is exciting. But unless I'm missing something, I don't think it's officially been confirmed to be for Nintendo. But if we just assume that let's just go with it for the sake of conversation and say it is something for Nintendo, I guess the idea that this DLSS or DLLS or no, so DLSS 2.0 is like a way to make lower resolution images higher resolution without actually making them higher resolution. It's like a fake higher resolution. And I guess because of the way it does it, kind of like Joey is saying here, it's not tapping into the power of the GPU as much, which frees up the GPU to do everything else a lot better. So it's like, I guess you could say it like flattens the curve, so to speak, or levels the playing field for everything that the game is demanding and helps make the quality of images look a little bit better. And so maybe that's a way for Nintendo Switch 2 hardware to be able to produce higher quality images that might be more on par with the PS5 or an Xbox Series X without having to be as powerful as those machines, almost like it's a cheat. That's what I understand of it, again, as somebody who's really dumb when it comes to this stuff. It's exciting. It makes sense. It feels like a Nintendo way of building Switch hardware, because I think that they obviously chose an architecture for the current Switch that allows them to not cut corners, but just with less effort and money, achieve similar effects to PS4 and Xbox One. So maybe this is their version for the next thing. Anyway, it's exciting. We don't know it's connected to Nintendo, but it certainly could be, and that's definitely pretty cool. Yellow Kazoo said, hey, Rob, what's my in real life job? I can't remember. Well, I've never shared my in real life job. and I don't want to share my in real life job. I appreciate the question. I've got a fairly high up corporate gig at a pretty big company that I would think 99% of you know, if not maybe 100% of you know who the company is. But yeah, that's what I do. It's a good. I love my job. I absolutely love it, and it's why I'm not really into doing YouTube full time. Maybe if I had to, like, I suddenly didn't have my job anymore, heaven forbid, I'd be like, well, it's time to go full time on YouTube. But yeah, that's why I really dig my job. So yeah, I got a corporate high up gig doing some things. Um, Oh, Andres Restart. What's up, buddy? Andres is in here. Nice, good to see you, man. 3 YouTube buddies in one live stream. That's pretty cool. Last time, who jumped in? I think Yellow Kazoo, you jumped in last time. Sean RGT85 jumped in last time. Actually, no, that was on my birthday. Sean donated $20 to me for my birthday, which was so freaking cool. So yeah, I love it when that happens. Good times. Daniel Young says, I love Sunshine, although I haven't 100% of the game. Dude, I have not 100% of the game. Are you kidding me? Sunshine, I like Sunshine. I will defend it to my dying breath while acknowledging its faults. But that game is hard as hell. It is so hard. Man, Mario Sunshine. Yikes. Big yikes. Big yikes. Random King says, what is your take on job listing where NVIDIA is hiring? Oh, so we were just talking about that. That's the NVIDIA thing. Flame Wingman says, what are your thoughts on Brie Larson saying she wanted to play Samus in a live action Metroid movie? I can't see her as Samus, you say. So yeah, I might be on a podcast soon talking about that. I was on actually Andres' podcast last week and we talked about it. I'm totally up for it. I think Brie Larson she's not amazing, but she's not a bad actress. And, Captain Marvel was not my favorite MCU movie. I don't think it was really all that great. It was fine. It wasn't bad. It just was kind of whatever. I think it could have been a hell of a lot better than it was. But I still think she's a good actress. She had some incredible roles. And I think that I said this on the podcast too, like the fact that she's passionate about it. She knows Metroid. She knows Samus. She cares about it. She wants to do it actively. She wants to do it. That can't be understated. Like that doesn't necessarily mean somebody's the most qualified for a job, but it does help for sure. And, I said like, she's not even in my top 5 actresses I would want to play the role, but she's somebody who I would be totally okay doing it if they announced it. So I'm into it. It's just, here's the thing. We're not going to get a Metroid movie, you guys. I want it. I want them to take a stab at it. Even if it's bad, I don't care. Just to see them try would be really cool, but I don't see it happening. I just don't see it. Whoops. Skipping questions. Let me go back up. Oh, you never have. I thought you had. My bad. Oh, it's okay. Yellow Kazoo. Not to worry. Ruben27 says, will we really get another mini direct this month and big general for September? I don't know, man. None of us know. Nintendo is keeping those secrets locked down because all year I've heard nothing about Nintendo Directs. So whatever they're doing, man, I just don't know. I don't know. But I want to believe, I made a video where I poured my heart and soul out about how optimistic I am that Nintendo still has some kind of plan for this year. And like, that's true. I'm worried they don't have anything else to do, but I want to believe that they do and that they will. So I feel like, and I made another video how like maybe August is the last chance that we have to see Nintendo address us about 2020 games. If they do like, if they do like a September or an October direct, 1, that would be great. We'd all be happy about it. But 2, I think that there's a good chance that 90% of anything they feature is going to be stuff in 2021. I mean, they're not going to talk about games for November, at least big games for November in an October Nintendo Direct. They're not going to. September, maybe, but you're not going to get a Breath of the Wild 2, or probably even like a Bayonetta 3 talked about in September to release the next month in October or November. Like they need a little bit more time. I mean, well, I don't know. Maybe with a Bayonetta they could. They did Paper Mario in 2 months, so I guess you don't really know. Tough to say, man. Nintendo this year, 2020 Nintendo, man, this is legendary. This will go down as just the kookiest year. And I mean, I talked about how like the first 6 months of the year, I was happy to cut them slack. Even though we saw Resident Evil and Final Fantasy release and Neo 2 and Last of Us technically coming in the first 6 months of the year, it's like, I was like, Nintendo, I guess they're just struggling more to make directs and to release video games. Okay. They released Animal Crossing for Animal Crossing fans. They're selling Switches in Animal Crossing like crazy. It's fine. But after that, around the time Paper Mario came out, it's like, what are we doing? What are we doing, Nintendo? Come on. Clearly, you can start doing some stuff. The rest of the industry around you is getting it done. Next gen consoles are releasing this year. Sony and Microsoft are getting it done. I love you, Nintendo, but why? Why either release nothing or why not tell us that you've got nothing to release until next year? Just do that, Anyway, I've beaten that. That's been like 50, probably 75% of my conversations in 2020 has been that exact thing over and over again. And like new pieces of info, they come out here and there and, change the situation. And so I get to make updated kind of discussions about it. But in general, that's just what there's been to talk about. If you're a Nintendo fan, almost the only thing to talk about is either unofficial stuff and rumors that don't lead to anything, or the fact that there's nothing to talk about. That's why I've talked about it so many times, because the only thing to discuss, if you like talking about Nintendo, is that there isn't anything to talk about. And it's such a double-edged sword, because it's like, I love Nintendo and I understand why, but I'm also like, show us some stuff, man. We want the goods. Oh my gosh, another super chat, another donation from Eric Popovich. Thank you so much, Eric. Hey, Rob, have a great day and keep up the great work. Respect. Thank you, Eric. Respect to you, good sir. I really appreciate the donation. That is so cool. I don't do these often enough to really get a lot of donations, My birthday was off the chain, though. I'll tell you what, you guys were awesome on my birthday. Eric Smith says they don't work from home like we do here in the States. That's why other branches of Nintendo don't really develop the games. Most of the development is done in Japan. Yeah, but during the pandemic, they have been working from home. So you're right. I think that the general culture in Japan might be not so much working from home like it is here, but they have been specifically during the pandemic. And that's Nintendo has said, everyone's working from home. So it makes things harder. That's kind of their excuse, their reasoning for why things were weird in the beginning of the year. So I don't know, man. Yellow Kazoo says there's no transparency with Nintendo. Reminds me a lot of YouTube. That really is true, Yellow Kazoo. That is really true. Like, YouTube sucks with messaging and transparency, and so does Nintendo. I think the motivations are different with Nintendo. It's like kind of like a Japanese part of their culture and honor and secrecy and all that stuff that in the West where we don't look at it the same way. With YouTube, it's just they know that they're making decisions that are bad for people who use the site. And so they're afraid. They're just too chicken to want to tell people like, hey, we're doing this really terrible thing that's going to make your lives bad and it's going to ruin the website. So we're not going to tell you. And all we're ever going to do is send you links to updates about our terms of service whenever you bring up anything, because we are a faceless company and a cowardly company. Man, I didn't expect to go in on YouTube in this live stream. That's a surprise. Hello. Watch, if the live stream cuts out all of a sudden, that's why, because they pulled the plug on me for talking smack. Talking that smack. I wish they make a Paper Mario series of all the awesome games. Like Paper Metroid would be awesome. Yeah, Paper Metroid. I was on a Spawncast Nintendo Direct predictions video like in January, and we didn't even get to release it until March with Spawn Wave and Scott the Woz and Nate from Direct Feed Games and Rogers Base. And we talked about, I think it was probably Rogers Base who brought up like, oh, I really want a Paper Mario game. And I was like, what if they made a in a paper game in a different Nintendo franchise like Paper Metroid. It got a big old groan from everyone else on the podcast. But yeah, what if Paper Metroid, Paper Smash Brothers, Paper Mario Kart? Let's do it. Actually, let's not do it. That would just be bad. That would be bad. Retro Cheat says August 6th Direct or Riot? How soon can a game come out after it's announced? The quietness from Nintendo is killing me. Yeah, and that was the whole basis for my August to Last Chance video. Excuse me. Is predicting August to be the last chance we would hear from them, around the concept of how quickly could they announce a big game, not a middle tier or an indie game, but a big game between the announcement and then also release it, especially for the holidays. And to me, when you start looking at your breath, it says my connection is unstable. How am I looking, guys? Am I failing here? Let me pull this up. Uh-oh. Oh, it looks okay. I think I'm doing all right. Okay. Again, tell me if my thing gets bad, but it's yelling at me like it's trying to reconnect. What was I rambling about? Oh, yeah. So if they're going to announce, like, if they want to try to get a Breath of the Wild, blame Nintendo. They're trying to shut you down. Yeah. Nintendo or YouTube, or maybe they got together and they're like, that's it. Pull the plug on Rob. No more Rule of 2 reviews. Like a second. It clipped for just a moment. Okay. Awesome. Thanks, guys. So if they're going to be like, we want a Breath of the Wild 2 and a Pikmin 4 released this year, it's like, they're not going to announce it. I already said this. They're not going to announce it in 1 month and just release it the next month. They want several months lead time. And so that's where the whole August thing kind of came from, for me, at least. Joey says you talked with Scott the freaking Waz. Yeah, I sure did. Yeah, that was a fun podcast, man. It was, John and Scott and Rogers Base and Nate and myself. And it was such a freaking blast. Honestly, that podcast, you guys should go listen to it if you haven't listened to it. We made it before the pandemic shut everything down. It was recorded in January. Remember that. And we thought a Nintendo Direct was right around the corner. That was when we were hearing behind the scenes things about a Direct. And so we did a predictions video. And man, it was so fun. I am literally laughing in tears. I am in tears at the end of that podcast. I'm laughing so hard about some of the stuff we talked about. So you'd have to look up like Spawn Wave Nintendo Direct predictions or something, and you guys could find it. It was really fun. Yeah, Scott was a great guy. Rogers Base was an awesome guy. I already knew John and Nate, but it was really cool getting to know Rogers Base and Scott. They're awesome dudes, man. Awesome, awesome dudes. Oh my God. Jason gave me a donation. Dude, you didn't have to do that, man. You could send me a text. He says DLSS uses AI to boost FPS and FPS and Gen Sharp frames. I don't know what Gen Sharp frames that approach or exceed native rendering. Basically, it uses science magic to make it look crazy good. There we go. Science magic. Do you mean like the same science magic that brought Palpatine back from the dead? Sith magic, dark science, and total nonsense about this stupid Star Wars movie we made. Interesting. All right. Thanks for the heads up, buddy. I had no idea, dude, that's what that does. I knew it was something about making the images just look better. Random King says, in that DLSS 2.0 related NVIDIA job listing, it mentions that it's for next generation console and Tegra development. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's maybe how people connected it to Nintendo. Flurkin's Galaxy says, I'm playing Battlefront 2 Ewok Hunt right now. Right on. Battlefront 2 is an awesome game. It is a great game, despite the whole controversy of how that game launched. It's a great game. I actually don't love the Ewok mode, but you seem to like it, so that's great. It's probably one of the few modes I don't really enjoy. Scott is a great dude. I agree. Yeah, he is a great dude. Hey, what's up, Dason? Sith magic, yeah. Sith magic, dark science. Ugh, barf. Oh, that movie had so much potential. I really struggle. My whole thing with like the Disney trilogy of movies is like, I don't like the trilogy. I do think Force Awakens and Last Jedi, independent of anything else, are good movies, and like I enjoy them as they're. I think they don't connect very well, and so that bothers me. But in their own vacuum, they're good movies that I enjoy, despite having some flaws. But even though I had issues going into Rise of Skywalker, I was like, this last movie could bring it all together and make the trilogy good, make Force Awakens and Last Jedi better movies, and then make everything fit with all 9 movies. And it just collapsed under the shallowness, the emptiness that is the Rise of Skywalker. I felt nothing. That's my issue with that movie, you guys. I've never felt it was like a black hole in my soul. That whole movie, I was like, there's no feeling, emotion, themes, or character development at all. And they didn't deliver on a single plot thread from anything before Force Awakens. And how they attempted to deliver on plot threads from Force Awakens and Last Jedi were just bad. Ewolf says Rise of Skywalker is the worst Star Wars movie ever. I agree. It's the only one I outright do not like. And the weirdest thing about it, and this is the last thing I'll say about Star Wars, because I know you guys want video game stuff. The worst thing about it is like, the weird thing I should say about it is that, hey, what's up, Evan? Kimmerex Project, Evan. Rob Live, nice. I am nice. Yeah, thanks for stopping in, dude. I appreciate it, man. I haven't talked to you in actually like a really long time. But since whenever the last time I was on the actual Spawncast, not the prediction, which was probably like 9 months ago. Anyway, with Rise of Skywalker, it's that weirdly enough, as much as I don't like that movie and it's a bad Star Wars movie and it's a bad Episode 9, what I will say is it is a good adventure. Like if you just look at it as an adventure movie and you got this kick-ass warrior girl and, the evil guy and all that stuff. And then, the adventures on the Death or the Star Destroyers at the end and all the action, like for just like a mindless action movie, like the first Transformers movie, it's good in that one respect. It's basically the Transformers 1 of Star Wars. So do with that information what you will. And I am very forgiving when it comes to Star Wars. Dark M says, Rob, save me from the madness. What's the madness, man? Tell me what the madness is. 13 Wolves says, the prequels are my favorite. Good for you, 13 Wolves. I love the prequel trilogy. You guys know, man. I live and die by the prequel trilogy and the original trilogy. Like, they're both so good to me. I sometimes can't tell which one I think is better. Obviously, like, there are some elements of just the filmmaking craft that went into the originals that, yes, is better than the prequel trilogy. I totally agree. But I think that the complete story of the prequel trilogy and the arc of Anakin is so fascinating. It's why I like those movies. That arc is just chef's kiss. And Luke's is also chef's kiss, but I think Anakin's might just be a little bit more interesting to me because the world building in the prequel trilogy really started to fit George's imagination. And in the original trilogy, yes, how they used the practical concepts to envision his imagination was amazing at that time. And I do prefer practical to digital, but I think seeing the world building and the political side and just the nature of the Force in the prequel trilogy, I think it's just some of the best storytelling ever done by humankind. Really. I know that like some of the acting or dialogue is weird here and there, but I guess I just don't care about that stuff. In Star Wars, I should say. Part of what makes Star Wars special to me is in any other movie, yeah, that stuff can really hold the story and a movie back. Oh, the effects are a little dated now. They were amazing at the time, but they're dated now. The acting or dialogue isn't the best, so it's hard to enjoy a movie. But specifically in Star Wars, it's like the brilliance of how George tells his stories is he actually almost uses that to his advantage. And it achieves that pulpy kind of pop culture-y sort of Flash Gordon thing that he wants them to be. And the story and the meat underneath that stuff is so juicy and good that it makes it amazing. Like Andre says, prequels for the win. Also Clone Wars, I agree. And in the Disney trilogy, the reason those movies aren't good, The Last Jedi does do this. But for the trilogy itself, The surface level stuff of like modern effects, you can't blame the prequels now because those were amazing at the time. But the effects are modern, and yes, the acting is very good in those movies. And that's great. We like good acting, but what's the meat underneath? There almost is no meat underneath the flashy surface level. There really isn't. Except for Last Jedi, which does get really, really close. I think Rian Johnson had the right idea. But still, anyway, how did I get on a Star Wars thing, you guys? I was supposed to talk about video games. Oh, Dave, what's up, man? Dave's in here too. Wow, so many really cool YouTuber buddies of mine popping in. He said, hey, Rob, I think we have a good chance of seeing a teaser trailer for Metroid Prime 4 this year. You think this year? Because as I said in my last video, Retro is already hiring a new concept artist, so new game getting planned. Yeah, I mean, maybe. Just saying, I think it's very possible. I have a good feeling about it. Well, that man, I love it. Obviously, Dave, I want it. My personal theory is, even with the hirings and all the concept artist stuff, because you obviously bring up really good points. My theory is, I think we're going to see or hear from the game next year, and I think it's going to release the following year in 2022. That's my personal theory. Link says, do you watch any anime or read any manga? So I used to do both a lot. When I was a teenager and in my early to mid 20s, I was really into anime and manga. In fact, I still have a huge box full of my old manga in my garage. I've held on to it forever. And I used to really get into anime. Honestly, I'm really not into it much anymore. I don't have anything against it. It's crazy how big the anime scene and culture is nowadays. It's insane to me. I think a lot of anime is kind of goofy and not for me nowadays, but I like anime. Here's what I like. Still to this day, to my deathbed, I like Dragon Ball Z. Okay. So I do love Dragon Ball. That is a huge part of my life. We're just getting ready to finish Dragon Ball Super. It's been very good so far. We're in the last Blu-ray set of that. But I'm not like an anime guy. I don't really keep up with it. I don't really watch anything. I don't know anything else about. I don't know anything about current anime. The last I was involved in like anime and trying to keep up with it was probably like 2004 or 5 maybe, which to me was my mid 20s. So that era of anime, when it was really in the midst of really blowing up in the States and becoming pretty mainstream, that's when I was last following it. But I fell off the boat, 15 years ago. So, oh my God, DN Megas Dan is another donation. Thank you, Dan, or DN. Says, where is Bayonetta 3 Doom Eternal? This is what drives Nintendo fans crazy. I know, I agree. To be fair, you bring up 2 third-party games, and Nintendo is publishing Bayonetta, so they're involved there, but they are games that aren't actually Nintendo games. So tough to say with those ones, but it is frustrating. Like, why hasn't Bethesda talked about Doom Eternal on the Switch? And why hasn't Platinum or Nintendo talked about Bayonetta 3? Like, what the hell? People want to know about those games, man. I really want to see what Doom is like on Switch, and I am dying for Bayonetta. Dave says a lot of it will depend on if they show Prime Trilogy this year too. I think Bayonetta, listen to me. Basically, if they reveal Prime Trilogy in 2020, we may get a teaser for Prime 4. I'd not dismiss it totally, in my opinion. It's a good theory. It would be, that idea is taking the concept that we all thought was going to happen at the Game Awards in 2018, where it's like, oh, all those behind the scenes rumors that, Dave, I know you and I both heard, like, oh, they're going to show a Prime Trilogy and then they're going to show a Prime 4 trailer. They're going to do it. And they did nothing Metroid. Reggie teased the t-shirt and all that. And there was so much talk about Prime 4 and Prime Trilogy being at the Game Awards. And it didn't happen because the next month, only literally like a month later, they delayed Metroid Prime 4. And so, Dave, it sounds like your thought, and I think the Prime Trilogy is coming. I don't know if I see it showing up this year, but your thought is doing the same thing we thought they were going to do at the Game Awards in 2018 and now doing it this year, where maybe they would reveal in a direct or in a YouTube video or a tweet, hey, Prime Trilogy is coming. And then maybe at the end they tack on like a Prime 4 teaser or something. I want it. I want it, dude. I don't know if I believe it, but I want it, and I want to be wrong, and I want you to be right. Jason G asks, have I seen Dragon Ball Z Abridged? Also, highly recommend Sword Art Online Abridged if you have some time. It's tough, man. I'm just not excited or into watching any anime that isn't Dragon Ball. It's crazy, you guys. I see all these names about things like My Hero Academia, Sword Art, something or other, Naruto, and I'm just like, no interest. No offense to you guys, there's just no interest. Dragon Ball Z Abridged, I have no interest in Dragon Ball Z Abridged. Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. I was thinking of Dragon Ball Z Kai. Abridged is the comedy stuff, right? Isn't that the Team 4-star stuff? Because, yes, I've seen that, and it's hilarious. That's Abridged, right? Because Dragon Ball Z Kai is like the truncated, edited version of Dragon Ball Z. And I'm like, I just don't like that. I love the full, huge, 300 episode, unedited, give me all the nonsense of Dragon Ball Z. Because even with the nonsense stuff that you could technically edit out, you actually remove a lot of the character to Dragon Ball Z, and you remove what makes it unique. I get that it's like, oh, that's just fluff. It's just filler. It doesn't really get to the goods. We just want to see the main character stuff, and we want to see all the fighting. And I get the desire, but I fell in love with Dragon Ball because of like the nonsense of Snake Way and 13 episodes to blow up Namek. I don't know, that kind of stuff. It's like I kind of fell in love with that when I watched it. I started watching Dragon Ball Z in like 2001 or 2002, I think. And I was like, I like the fact that it takes so long to get to stuff, because when you finally get to that stuff, it feels that much better. And I like those weird quiet moments we spend in between the big moments. So Dragon Ball Z Kai cuts out a lot of that stuff. And I understand it, but I'm like, no interest. The soul of Dragon Ball is sucked out. And then it becomes like every other normal anime that's like 25 episodes per season. And you get the whole arc in like just that. And I'm like, yeah, that now it's just every other anime. Dragon Ball Z is partly unique because it takes 3 episodes to power up and fire a Kamehameha. And it takes 15 episodes to blow up Namek. That is what defines Dragon Ball Z, on top of the great characters. So that's another thing I did not expect to go on a tangent about is Dragon Ball. Where did this come from? You guys got me going off in 100 different directions in this live stream. I did not expect that at all. Dave says, yeah, I'm just saying it's possible to keep your expectations in check. Yeah, that's kind of the Nintendo Metroid way, right? Yeah, that's Abridged is the funny thing. Okay. Abridged is a comedy one. Yeah, I've seen Abridged. It's pretty hilarious. I saw a Cell Games one where like Yu-Gi-Oh showed up. Cell was waiting for everyone to show up, and then like Yu-Gi-Oh was there. I was dying. It was so freaking funny. And is it the same voice actor? Because the guy who did Cell sounds just like him. So much like him. Oh my God, so funny. Anyway, let me get to the end here. Oh, see, Sergeant Crack says, damn, I miss old school anime. 90s and 80s specifically. Yeah, man, so I'm from that era. That's when I discovered Battle Angel Alita. And it's when I obviously like Akira. Like I grew up on movies like Akira and Ninja Scroll. Okay. So that's my anime. Anime to me, what I've seen is nowhere near as good as the era of Ninja Scroll. God, freaking Ninja Scroll, you guys. Just the original movie and Akira. And I do love Neon Genesis. I love Ava. That was really great too. So, Ranma 1/2. Smooth Operator brings up that. I actually did see that, and I liked that as a teenager. Ranma 1/2 was pretty good. So, I can't believe we're talking anime here, you guys. I don't really know enough about anime to go beyond that. You heard me. I know DBZ and Akira and Ghost in the Shell. Like that era of anime to me. Ninja Scrolls on Hulu. I didn't know that. The Icarus. Oh my gosh. Another donation. Thank you so much, Icarus. With all the bounties Samus took on, what do you think her net worth is? Oh my God. She doesn't seem too rich in the games. That's true. Unless, I actually don't know. I'm pretty steeped in the lore of Metroid, but I actually don't know the answer to this question, because she technically like is bounty hunting for the Galactic Federation, but she's not really technically employed by them anymore, especially after Other M came out, which is really, that's the whole idea, is she's been separated from Adam Malkovich and Anthony and that whole group because she doesn't work for them anymore. The flashbacks show her working for them, but in that game, you see that she walked away. So she's got her ship and her suit and all that technology. It's like, is that hers? Is she paying for that? Or is that something the Galactic Federation pays for and provides to her? We don't know. And that could determine how much her net worth is, I guess. What kind of IP would you make if you were a game dev? Oh, man, I have no idea. Probably a platformer. I like platformers, man. And Metroidvania. PK Gav says, Rob, I'm glad you probably meant to say I like Other M2. And yes, I do like Other M. It is not perfect, man, but I will always defend Other M as a really good game. It's okay for a game to not be amazing. And I think that people forget that with some games like a Metroid Other M. I think it's a perfect example of where, yeah, we're used to Metroid games being just amazing 10s out of 10s, Super Metroid, Metroid Prime and whatnot. But like, not every game is just amazing or totally bad. There are games in the middle where you weigh all the goods and the bads and you put them together to come to an ultimate result that's like, oh, this is good. This is fine. It's not perfect. It's got these problems, but it's also got all these good things. And so it's a good game. It's like an 8.0 out of 10, which is a pretty darn good game. And to me, that's squarely where Other M falls. Like, my Super Metroid fanship maybe means I like it a little bit more than the average person, or maybe even, I'll say this, that probably means I like it a little bit more than the game deserves. I can admit it. Okay. I can admit that. But I think objectively, if I step outside of my Metroid fanship and I look at just Metroid Other M as its own game, like an action game featuring Samus, this Nintendo character, it's like, that's an 8 out of 10. That game is an 8 out of 10, maybe even a 7. But even a 7 isn't a train wreck, right? That's not a horrible game that no one should spend their time on. So I don't know. Dave says, I wish people would stop saying Nintendo doesn't need a new F-Zero. Who says that? That is crazy. Because they have fast racing. Oh, okay. I didn't complete the sentence. People who say Nintendo doesn't need a new F-Zero because fast racing exists. Come on, guys. You can never replace F-Zero. I agree, Dave, 100%. Fast racing is awesome, and it's cheap, but it's not F-Zero. There is something special about a Nintendo-developed super speed, like sci-fi racing game that is the F-Zero franchise. It's different. It's just different when it's Nintendo making it, So I'm with you there. Hakuden2 says, have you played Golden Sun? I've played the original Golden Sun, yes. Would you like to see it come back and finally finish its story? Camelot has taken its longest to announce their next game. I feel like Golden Sun is coming back. So again, I'm out of touch with the story because I didn't play Golden Sun 2 or wasn't there like another Golden Sun game that didn't have a number, I thought? Either way. So I don't really know or remember the story, but I loved the first game when I played it, when it came out on the Game Boy. So yeah, I would like to see it come back. That'd be cool. Oh my God, Andres also donated. Dude, thank you so much, man. What's your preferred Nintendo franchise to make a comeback? I do have an answer to that. So I have 2 Nintendo franchises I want to make a comeback. Well, 3. Obviously, I want a lot to come back. The first one is F-Zero. We're already talking about F-Zero. So I'd like to see F-Zero come back because F-Zero has been gone for 17 years since F-Zero GX, which I thought I had there, but I don't. I was going to just pull the case, but it's not where I thought it was. And so, yeah, that game truly has been gone. And so we need it to come back. Well, didn't they make a Game Boy Advance game, I think maybe the year after, but still. So it's been 15, 17 years. We need that to come back. The other 2 ones that are kind of cheats, Sergeant Crack says one of them. One is Star Fox, then the other is Pikmin. And those are cheats because they're not gone and they're not dead. We had a new Star Fox game just in 2016, last generation, and we had a new Pikmin game in 2013, last generation. So you got 4 and 7 years ago. And so I don't really feel like those franchises are like dead and missing, but it has been a while, and they are franchises I would like to see get iterations and sequels on the Switch specifically. So F-Zero, Star Fox, and Pikmin. Pikmin, I think, is a lock. I think Pikmin's coming. I don't care if it's Pikmin 3, Pikmin 4, or both. We're getting Pikmin. Star Fox is a mystery, so we don't know if Nintendo has plans. Last year, I was pretty sure we were going to see a Star Fox, and now I just don't know. F-Zero, what do we say about F-Zero, man? That game, that franchise, I think Nintendo's afraid. F-Zero is the one that Nintendo seems afraid to come back. Like, how they wouldn't possibly put that much money into an F-Zero game. They would totally make their money back easily with F-Zero, but they just refuse to do it. And it's just a racing game. Hell, bring Sega back to make that game, man. It just makes so much sense. I don't know. It's frustrating. Hermione Granger is here. Hermione says, Rob, how powerful do you think is realistic for the next-gen Nintendo Switch? Are we talking PS4 or Xbox One level or more powerful? Well, I think the safe bet would be PS4 or Xbox One level, maybe even PS4 Pro and Xbox One X level. But obviously, we'd like to see something slightly more powerful than even that, so that it does feel like Nintendo takes a good, healthy step beyond this current generation. Like, just let's put this whole generation in the rearview mirror, Nintendo, okay? So don't do this thing like with the Wii U, where the Wii U was really catching up to the Xbox 360 and the PS3, and even what you did with the Switch, where you're only just barely catching up with the base PS4 and Xbox One. Let's take a good step. Let's move beyond Xbox One X and PlayStation 4 Pro, and let's get closer to PS5 and Xbox Series X. We don't need Nintendo to match them. Obviously, we know that they can achieve success without matching PS5 and Series X, but I think we'd all like to see them get a little bit closer. So, tough to say, man. You can't predict Nintendo. I'm punching my pop filter here. You just can't predict them. Who knows? But I think worst case would be to just match PS4 and Xbox One. And like, that would probably make it so that we would see most, or at least a good amount of multi-platform games on the next Switch if they do that. But we'd have a better chance at seeing every multi-platform game if they move beyond this gen and they get closer to PS5 and Xbox One. Dude, I've had over 100 viewers in this live stream for like 20 or 30 minutes. So that is amazing. I really appreciate you guys. I only crack 100 viewers every once in a while. So that's really, really cool. Oh, man. Did I just see what I thought I saw? No? Okay. I was going to crack a joke about something, and I thought I saw... Okay, we're good. Oh, man. That would have been really funny. Anywho, what's another question I have not gotten to here? Castlevania's Konami. That's true. Zero wasn't bad. Yeah, Star Fox Zero, I agree. I love Star Fox Zero. It's okay. I love it. And I guess I do love it, but yeah, it's got problems. I know. And it would be hard as hell to bring that game to Switch, man. So I just don't know what to do with that. Flamingo Creations says, I truly think the rumored Star Fox Grand Prix turned into DLC for Starlink, the Crimson Moon Racing. You know what I wonder with that is if the opposite of that is true. Maybe the DLC to Starlink is what existed, and somebody who broke the scoop and saw it behind the scenes thought it was its own game. That's my theory. And so they broke the scoop like, oh, I've seen this Star Fox Racing thing. That's what Nintendo's making without knowing that it was actually just DLC for Starlink. That's what I think happened. Or the other option is that the game is real and it is going to happen. Maybe that's what it is. But it's probably the Starlink thing. I gave up on it. For a while, I wanted to believe it, but I gave up on it a long time ago. Tamale Muncher says, my problem with Star Fox Zero was the alternate paths. Why is that? Why was that a problem for you? I'm curious. Because really, that was just true to the Star Fox formula. Like the classic Star Fox, like Star Fox and Star Fox 64 and Star Fox Assault, to be fair, like the levels themselves will have branching paths. And then because of that, you also open up branching paths in the big map as you're flying through your different missions. So I just think it's interesting to hear you don't like the alternate paths, because that is true to form to Star Fox. It doesn't mean you have to like it. I'm just letting you know, in case maybe you don't know, that's what Star Fox is built on, is those branching paths. I want Metroid Prime 4 to add gunship combat. Yeah, Flurkin. I don't know if Dave is still in here, but that's something he wants too. He talked about that on our podcast. Super Metal Dave. He was like, oh, I want some gunship action, which would be very cool. Very, very cool. 132 viewers. This is crazy, you guys. This is very cool. I love having so many people in here. Oh, what I want is Wave Race to come back, says Hataki. Yes, Wave Race for sure. Both Wave Race games were awesome. I loved Wave Race 64. You know what we used to do with Wave Race 64? Keep in mind, me and my buddies, we were 15, 16, 17 years old when the 64 came out and when Wave Race 64 came out. And we used to do a thing where as soon as the race would start, we would turn around and we created a game of tag where we would only race through the race backwards, and we would try to tag each other and run into each other and like tag, you're it, and do that. And you had to go backwards, because if you go forwards, you end up completing laps and you can complete the race and then it's over. But if you go backwards, you can go backwards as much as you want and you're just adding negative laps, and we would play tag. And that was just so much fun, just kind of messing around with the game. Oh, Smooth Operator says Blast Core was fun on N64. The N needs to bring it back. Well, Blast Core is actually rare. So it was an interesting 64 game. I thought it was okay. I rented it. But that's a Rare game. So that would be up to Rare and Microsoft to make another game. 1080 is awesome. I agree. 1080 is cool. I snowboard in real life, so I do appreciate that. Lord Atag says, is anyone suffocating without Metroid news? Bro, who are you talking to? I am suffocating. I'm drowning in Metroid silence. But I also think something's coming. I know something's being cooked up, you guys. Just wait a little bit. I think something will happen. I don't know if it's the Prime Trilogy, like Dave seems to think, but something's going to happen in Metroid. Jason says, that sounds like a blast, Rob. Wave Race tag. Yeah, it was fun, man. It was really cool. It was a good time. Still going up in viewers. Very cool. Very good live stream so far, you guys. Very positive live stream. I love this. Tayrule says Super Mario Strikers needs to come back. 13 years exactly since Charged came out on the Wii in 07. Yeah, I would welcome that. I'm not like, there are a lot of people who are like diehard Mario Strikers. It's amazing. I definitely like Mario Strikers, and I would very much love to see another one come out for sure. But I'm not like needing it. I actually prefer Mario Golf. That's my Mario sports game of choice. What I want is a Mario hockey game. I think that would be amazing. Dude, imagine a Mario hockey game that's as good as Strikers or Mario Golf. It would be amazing. We'd all love that game. There might be one in like the Mario and Sonic Olympic Games or whatever. I don't know if there is, but I could see there being one. But we know that's not really what we want. We want like a true to form, unique arcade style Mario hockey game. I think that'd be awesome. Mario Hockey Puck Fighter. Yeah. Just bought Toadstool Tour for the GameCube. Nice. That game rocks. That's my favorite Mario Golf is the one on the GameCube. Oh, hockey's in Sports Mario mix. Is it really? Well, then they need to just do a full-fledged one. If that's where that game is. Vic Ram says, have you ever thought about how a modern-day Prime Hunters would be like? I have. Maybe as multiplayer tacked into Prime 4. Yeah, that's obviously a very ideal way for them to do that. If they wanted to do a Hunters mode or a Federation Force mode in Prime 4, I think that those could work. where they just have all the bounty hunters and you just do online deathmatch, and that's the hunters mode. And they could also do the co-op mode, and it's a Federation Force thing. Easy. You could totally do it. Mario football would be cool. I agree, Josephine. I think that would be awesome too. It's weird. Like, my two professional sports of choice are football and hockey. I prefer football to hockey, but for a Mario game, I would prefer hockey to football. So go figure. I don't know what that's about. Liam says, if Mario 3D World does come to Switch, how do you think they will do the blowing that you did on the Wii U gamepad? Good question. And it's probably just going to be a button press, maybe like R3 or something. You just click in the stick or something. They'll find a way. It's a good example of why I personally think games that are ported from Wii U to Switch are downgrades, because we missed the gamepad. I'm on a very tiny island with that opinion, but I love the gamepad. I think games that use the gamepad well are amazing. And I think two-screen gaming is better than single-screen gaming. And so the Switch is a better machine than the Wii U, but I think the Wii U gave us some better game experiences solely because of the gamepad. So I think of that stuff. When I think of Pikmin 3 and I think of Deus Ex and I think of Zombie U, I mean, it's just, those games are so amazing because of the gamepad. Wonderful 101, it's crazy. So I get sad when I think about a game. If Pikmin 3 comes to Switch, I'll be excited, but it's also going to be a downgrade. Wonderful 101 on the Switch is a downgrade. I don't even care if the graphics are better. It's a downgrade because of the lack of gamepad. When they brought Zombie U over to the other consoles and just called it Zombie, which was so stupid, it's a downgrade because we don't have the gamepad. Like, that was the experience. Oh, Laura Tag gave a donation, says, could an open world Metroid work? Glad to support. Thank you so much, dude. And yeah, I think an open world Metroid could work. I'm not like needing that for a Metroid game. Personally, I'm not asking for it as a Metroid fan, but I totally think it could work. And I think if Nintendo and Retro wanted to do it, if their vision for Metroid is an open world game, I trust it would be good, and I trust that they would do it the right way. So I'm totally open to it, especially if it makes the game longer. Mind of Christ Ministries, that's a heck of a name, says, I think they should attach Hunters and Federation Force to Metroid Prime Trilogy and make it a pentology instead. Ooh, good word usage. And they would be updated for online play along with Prime 2's online stuff. I mean, that could be cool too, I guess. I could almost see making a case for that being a better idea than putting it in Prime 4. I would still like it in Prime 4 because it's just all new all together at once. But it could be cool. I see what you're getting at there. Oh, excuse me, guys. I'm yawning. It's only 2:50 and I'm yawning. I got to get back to more Ghost of Tsushima. Which is probably when I might get some practice in. My fiance is sleeping because she doesn't feel too good. So if she's still sleeping, I don't really want to start banging around on my drums. The soundproofing that we did yesterday, again, phase 1 only of soundproofing, is helping a little bit inside the house, but not 100%. So she would still hear it. I want to wait till she's not sleeping. Review intro thighs USA. Hello. Thanks for stopping by. That's so funny. King Axiom Verge. Yeah. Axiom Verge is amazing, you guys. Play Axiom Verge. I will clap to make it happen. Axiom Verge 2 is going to be really cool. Playing Ghost myself. How are you liking it? I am loving Ghost of Tsushima. I cannot get sick of that game. I'm in Act 2. So I've made it up to the upper island. I did one of the earlier on Act 2 missions with my uncle a little bit ago. And dude, I freaking love that game. It's probably my second favorite game of the year. I never thought I would be at this point more than halfway through 2020. And The Last of Us 2 has come out, which is a sequel to one of my top 5 favorite video games of all time. And that game is not my number 1 game of the year. Now, I did like The Last of Us 2. I know the issues and I share some problems, but at the end of the day, the game was still amazing. So it's sitting at my number 3 game for the year. But going into 2020, I thought there's no way any game could top Last of Us Part 2. I know it's going to be my favorite game of the year. And it's not. It's not. I like Ghost of Tsushima and Ori and the Will of the Wisps more. Oh, okay. How do I say it? Ciao Zambonata Ferreira. Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry. I probably said that wrong. Thank you for donating $2 though. Says play DEX on Switch, amazing 2D cyberpunk game. Dex? DEX? I don't know what it is, but I'm going to look it up. Let me see. Oh, it's news. Oh, is it like a 2D game? This looks cool. I like what I'm seeing. Are those the only 2 screenshots? Come on. Well, I'm finding 2 screenshots. I'm doing just a quick Google image search. This looks really cool. I really dig the style. And I love a good 2D game. I love 2D side-scrolling games. Love, 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 love them. Okay. I'm going to look it up. How much is it, man? Tell me how much it is. I'm curious. Oh my God, I got another super chat. Jalen JLPS. Thank you so much, you guys, for donating. Says, I really think MK9. Oh, Mario Kart 9 would be the holiday title. I literally thought of Mortal Kombat before I thought of Mario Kart. I was like, we've already had an MK9. You know, that's a good game that does get brought up every once in a while, but I think we do forget could be a random surprise. And there was the tease a little bit ago. I don't remember who said that now. There was a rumor about, a game that features tires. Was that Jeff Grubb from VentureBeat? Somebody said something about a tire game. That would be huge. That'd be a great game to get this year. I won't lie. I mean, I'm not really dying for multiplayer games right now, so I would prefer something that's more like a Pikmin, you know, or like a Breath of the Wild, of course, something like that. But I would not say no to a new Mario Kart. So that would be really cool. Whoa. Martin Rose says, you heard about the rumor of Konami's Silent Hill 2 remake for PS5? No, I did hear that there's a rumor about a new Silent Hill being made, and I actually tend to believe that, but I didn't hear it was a remake of Silent Hill 2. How would I feel about that? I mean, part of me would love it because Silent Hill 2 is one of the greatest games ever made. So yeah, if you remake that to the quality of the Resident Evil remakes, that would be great. That would be great. But I would prefer a new game, or I would prefer the PT concept to come back and be delivered upon somehow. Even without Kojima, you could probably still make that game very good. But yeah, I thought it was just a new Silent Hill game. I didn't know it had anything to do with Silent Hill 2. That's news to me. Armchair says, I think former leaker Sabi said that. Oh, okay. Old Sabi got themselves in quite a bit of trouble, didn't they? Yep. Link says, how do you think Breath of the Wild 2 could outdo or be close to how great the first game was? The biggest thing for me, when I just guessing, is if the world we're in is different. I think the number one thing that game has to do to be satisfying and potentially be better, I think it needs, we don't want to be in the same Hyrule map, so bring us somewhere different, hopefully just as large of an area. And I know some people will push against this. I think most of you guys would agree. If they bring back more traditional dungeons, and if, think of the same developers that made the brilliant Breath of the Wild and all of those amazing shrines and the divine beasts, think of how good that team is at making that kind of a game. Now imagine that team instead making traditional dungeons like what we used to see. How amazing would Breath of the Wild quality true dungeons be with new items? Man. Oh my God. That's what I get chills when I think about how good that could be. So those are the things I think it would need to do. And another donation from Chow again says, I knew you would like it. Dex is $15 on the eShop. Okay. It's like 2D Deus Ex. Nice. I'm addicted to this game for the last days. Awesome, man. I'm going to check it out. I'm absolutely going to check it out. Thank you for the suggestion. Lord Take says, unpopular opinion, Prime 2 multiplayer was fun. I mean, it is an unpopular opinion. I agree. It was fun. I played it a little bit back when it came out in 2004. But, I didn't really stick with it. we were all still too focused on Halo's multiplayer, and Prime 2's multiplayer was just not good enough to take most of us away from Halo. So it was a nice attempt, and it's not bad, but it doesn't really get the job done. Now, in an era with online play and more capable hardware, multiplayer Metroid could work a lot better. So I have faith that if they bring it back, they'll do it better. I really do. Martin Rose says, I heard about the rumor from Dreamcast Guy's channel. Oh, okay. He's posting that Konami is teasing something about a Silent Hill remake. Might be state of play announcement in August. I hadn't heard any of that. That's crazy. Is that like current, or is this from a while ago? Let me look here. Here we go. Yeah, I don't know when. Maybe this was from a while ago. Oh, no, there, you're right. Yeah, a couple of hours ago, Max put up a video about a new Silent Hill game. Coming this week? Max. I have to ask him about it. Wow. Dude. The plot thickens. Yes, please. How did I not see that this morning? That's crazy. Star. Anyway, okay. I'm looking at all my YouTube buddies' videos. I don't want to do that. I have my own live stream here. Prime 2 had multiplayer on the Cube. Yeah, it is totally real, Eric. Yeah, put it in your GameCube right now. There's multiplayer mode in that game. And it is really bare bones. Yes. Very, very true. I got it for Christmas. I remember my first encounter of every boss. Nice. Yo, what's up? Mamiya Malvada? What's up? What's happening? 12 feet tall says, hi, do you think the Metroid Prime going to have a horror elements? So do I think Metroid Prime will have horror elements? I think it's very possible. I've talked about Metroid and horror so many times. I think that there's already a lot of horror crossover because the Metroid games, specifically the Prime games, but even the 2D games do this. They're very much focused on, they very much have like an eerie, creepy ambience to them. Like the vibe is very much like unsettling sometimes. And there are moments, especially in Metroid Prime 3, also in Metroid Fusion, where they're like trying to be creepy. And I think that they could take that. Metroid Prime 2 actually does that also. I think that they could take that to a different level and almost make a Metroid game that really puts the creepy horror element front and center in the game. And that the real vibe to that game. And I'm not talking, it doesn't need blood and guts and jump scares, but to just be an unsettling, creepy, eerie atmosphere, they could do it by, again, putting that front and center and not making it something, you know, maybe a couple of areas feel that way or a couple of enemies. I'm talking about the whole game has that vibe to it. It could be amazing. So I'm with you. Eric, yeah, they had guys hanging up Predator style in Prime 2. Yeah, they do right in the very beginning. It's really cool. When they introduced the dead Federation troopers turning into dark zombies, that's where that stuff happens. Really cool. I would love it. Yeah, me too. I like Metroid games. Me too, Obito. Me too. Wow, what do I think is the most overrated Nintendo console, and what do I think is the most underrated Nintendo console? Well, I know what the most underrated Nintendo console is, and it's easily the Wii U. No competition. Wii U is great. Wii U is good. Wii U is amazing. There's problems with the Wii U, I know, and it didn't sell. It's a failure, I know. But the library is awesome. The gamepad is awesome. So I think it's way better than people say, and it's way better than the sales represent. Most overrated Nintendo console. I can get myself in trouble here. It's between two different consoles. You guys are going to yell at me for saying this, but saying a console is overrated is not the same as saying it's bad or that I dislike it, because I like them all. It's just based on how people talk about it and what I think it really deserves. And there's two Nintendo consoles that I think are overrated based on how people react to them. One is the Nintendo Wii. I like the Wii. It's good. Better than I remember, but it's overrated. People think it's way better than it truly is. There was a lot of problems with that machine and the library. The other one is the Nintendo Switch. The Switch is a bit overrated. And I love the Switch. I love it. I love the Wii. I love the Switch. So I'm not saying anything actually disparaging about them. But when I look at the flaws, the things I think they did not great, maybe some of the gaps and problems with libraries or controller executions, like I think that based on people's hype of those two systems, I think they're overrated. The NES is better than people remember. The SNES is better than people remember. The Nintendo 64, the GameCube, better than people remember. And the Wii U, of course. But the Wii and the Switch, two extremely successful and good consoles, I think people are a little bit too hype on these two machines. So bring in the pitchfork, says Tony. I think the GameCube is underrated. I agree, Wahid. That's my second. The only reason I choose the Wii U over the GameCube, because I prefer the GameCube to the Wii U. But the Wii U had the worst sales and has the worst reputation than the GameCube. I do think the GameCubes should be better than it is, but I think that the Wii U's is so low that it's like that's the one I would defend and say is the most underrated. But they're both awesome. Tayrul says SNES and GameCube, top two Nintendo home consoles. Those are two of my top three. So I agree with you. Of my top three consoles, those are two of them. But I wouldn't call them both my top two. Mamiya says the GameCube is my absolute favorite to this day. Good for you. That is my second favorite console of all time, is the GameCube. NAP says, any specific hopes for Hollow Knight Silksong? Not really, just more of the same, more good stuff. And honestly, my only hope is that I want to see it soon, and I want to know when it comes out. I'm losing my voice, you guys, all this talking. I might be calling it soon here. I don't know. Some people who stream for hours on end, like OJ or Miss Click, who just like stream. I don't know how you guys do it. My voice just like starts to go after a while. I talk pretty loud. I probably do it to myself because I project. I'm a projector. I project with my voice. And so maybe I put a lot of extra strain on it that other people don't. But I'm jealous, man. I can't stream for hours. When I do podcasts, it's hard too. Luckily, I have other people talking, so I can take breaks. But on my own live stream, it's just me. It's just yourself. And you just got to gab. You got to fill up that time. You don't want too much silence, which, speaking of silence, I'm going to take a drink of water. So I don't know, man. I wear my voice out. After like 40 minutes or an hour, I'm like, ugh. So I might have to wrap up soon here. Okay, so Jason G, you bring up a good point. You say, I bet their sound setups help them use less projection. That might be true, but one, I have a pretty decent sound setup because I have a high quality mic and I've got, soundproofing and sound dampening and stuff here. So like my sound setup's decent. I really think it's that I just talk this way. I just project. I can't talk quiet like this. If I talk quiet like this, I feel very meek and feeble. I have to force myself to talk this quiet. And how different does it sound when I talk to you guys like this? No strain, no effort on my voice. This is Rule of Two Review ASMR was what I'm doing right now. It probably sounds pretty weird. It feels weird and I hate it. I can't make myself talk that. Like, this is my natural talking. My poor fiance lives with the loudest son of a bitch because I talk this way. I'm like, I'm projecting. NAP says, I play all my GameCube games on the Wii. So, I mean, so here's the thing. That's such a messy debate to get into because the Wii does play GameCube games. The Wii U does play Wii games. And man, I get it. Those are good points. I don't really have a defense for that other than I just don't really factor in other consoles' libraries to a different console. So I don't think of the Wii U as a Wii, and I don't think of the Wii as a GameCube. It's a Wii. It's that library. It's that controller. Same with the Wii U. That's just me personally. A new Turok on Switch, anybody? I would love a new Turok. I freaking love the Turok games. I even liked what was it called? Turok. I don't remember. I'm gonna look it up. The Turok game that came out, GameCube and Xbox, like Ascension or something, or maybe was it Evolution? I think it's Evolution. Yeah, Turok Evolution. I loved that game, man. Everyone was like so disappointed with it and didn't like it, but I thought it was great. Yeah, the last one that came out though, I think this was the last one on the PS3 and the Xbox, was garbage. I was so excited and it was so bad. The spirit of Turok was not alive in that game. But all the 64 Turoks and Turok Evolution is amazing. Yeah, see, this says Turok Evolution could have been awesome. It was awesome, you jerk. This one says, Turok, what happened? Well, they made a good game. That's what happened. I'm just looking at Turok stuff. Oh, yeah, there was a Turok Evolution Game Boy Advance game, a side scroller. That's crazy. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. Let's get back here. I heard Mario 64 Remastered would be similar to Turok Remastered. Wait, Turok Remastered? Oh, yeah, the Night Dive Studios remaster. Yeah, maybe that's what they do. That'd be fine, I guess. It wouldn't be as good as what most of us want, but most awesome weapons. I agree. Really good stuff there. Rage Wars was okay. Everyone loves Rage Wars. I preferred Turok 2. Anyone else want a sequel to The World Ends With You, says Starwolf. I actually do. That's not a game I would typically play. You guys might be surprised to hear me say that, but I did play World Ends With You on my DS, and I freaking loved it. That game floored me. It was so good. And I would love a new one. Problem is, that game was made good because it also had like the touchscreen gameplay, which was really cool. And they couldn't do that now because Nintendo moved away from two-screen gaming. Like a bunch of weirdos. I wish the Switch could do that. I have not tried Skullgirls, but I heard it was good. It looked pretty cool. Skullgirls I wanted to play, and also River City Girls. I really want to try that one. Turok Rage Wars gray color card on N64 is the only version you can beat. Interesting. I didn't know that. Hataki says, top 5 GameCube games. Star Fox Adventures, good for you. Eternal Darkness, hell yes. 007 Nightfire, Harvest Moon, and SSX Tricky, hell yes. So Star Fox, Eternal Darkness, and SSX, good choices. I personally think SSX 3 blows SSX Tricky away. I like Tricky, don't get me wrong. But to me, SSX 3 is a whole nother league. But I also just miss SSX. Did you know that, wait a minute, what? The Prime gunship was built from the remains of Zero Mission ship? I've never heard that. Is that true? I don't know. I'm skeptical. But I don't know everything. I know a lot when it comes to Metroid especially, but I don't know everything. So I can be wrong. There can be things I don't know. I'm not too proud to admit it, you know? It's okay. It's all right. I hope Zelda gets the anniversary package for 35th next year. Yeah, a lot of people have said that. You know, I think that a lot of us get a little too caught up in the anniversary things with video games, and especially with Nintendo. We think every anniversary is a big deal. Nintendo's going to do something. But like, I brought this up on my last live stream. If you go back and chart history, there aren't that many instances where Nintendo does something for the anniversary. They did Mario 25th and Mario 30th anniversaries. And I think they did one Zelda. Maybe they did Zelda 25th, and that was the Hyrule Historia. I could be wrong on that, but like that's it. Every other game anniversary or franchise anniversary, they don't really, Nintendo never does or talks about that stuff. They really don't. So I think that we've all got it in our heads that like, oh, this anniversary is coming up for this franchise and this character. Nintendo's going to release 7 new games at one time. And it's like they really don't ever do that. And I wish they would, but they don't. Unless I'm missing some instances and you guys can correct me and tell me when that's happened other than those 2 or 3 times. The anniversary on Wii, was that a thing that they did? I don't remember that. So maybe there's one. Maybe that's one I'm missing. Okay, maybe I'm wrong, and they did it for Kirby too, which is weird. Daniel Young says my top 5 GameCube games: Mario Kart Double Dash, Metroid Prime 2, Smash Melee, and Mario Sunshine. That's a damn good list of games. It's all Mario and Metroid. Realistically, yeah, I don't see it happening for Zelda. I mean, it could happen, but it's just don't get too hyped up. They did nothing about Earthbound Mother series on the 30th anniversary. Now is the 31st. Yeah. I don't follow Mother, the Earthbound thing. It's not a series I'm interested in, but yeah. Have I heard of the G Boy? It's basically a Wii GameCube portable, which supports almost all retro games. No, I haven't. It sounds cool though. Sounds like Spawn Wave has been building a portable Wii. I'm trying to convince him to build a portable Jaguar. And let me help. John, if you're watching, you got to do it, man. Let me help. I can't really help with the tech stuff. I just want to help you build a library for it because I know exactly what games to do. I want a portable Jaguar, man. That'd be amazing. Although I guess you wouldn't need a library because the idea is you put the games into the machine, right? So because of what you're saying about Nintendo not doing much for anniversaries, I have little hope for the 3D Mario Remastered rumors. Yeah, I mean, I hear you. I mean, I think there's a chance that those are being done maybe for an anniversary, but also maybe just to do it. And to be fair, we can't forget, they did do Mario 25th and Mario 30th. So why wouldn't they do? Maybe they want to continue and they would do 35th. So, I mean, obviously, it's my point that I'm making that Nintendo doesn't do anniversaries very often. Yes, that's my point. But also, they have at least done it with Mario. So that's the one situation where maybe it could become true. Just saying. I'm just putting that out there, man. I just work here. Okay. So don't blame me if things do or do not happen. Nate the Hate said it should be coming, but they just could be ports. Yeah. Yeah, Nate's a good source. Nate is a good dude. AVP was good on Atari Jaguar. Damn straight. In fact, I actually do have my Jaguar right here. One sec. That I did have sitting up here is my Jaguar and Jaguar CD and Rayman cartridge in it. You see it? Yeah. Look at this beauty. I know it looks like a toilet bowl, but it's a beautiful 64-bit toilet bowl. And of course, I have Alien vs. Predator too. I have like 30 games for the Jaguar. I freaking love this thing, man. Gotta love the old Jag. And I'm so glad I finally got a Jaguar CD. It took me like 2 years to track one down that I knew worked, and that wasn't going to cost me like $800. And I still played a pretty penny. You'd never seen the Jaguar before, Novus? As I'll do it again because I love showing this puppy off. This is one of those weird anomalies. If you guys follow me on Twitter, I talk about the Jaguar a lot like a joke, but I legit love this thing. And it's not even that good. I mean, it's not. It's known for being bad and disappointing, but like I have such fond memories. I had a Jaguar. This is the third one I've owned. I had one when it came out. I was so excited for the Jaguar. And I got one. I saved up and bought one myself, and I just loved it, even though I knew it wasn't really as good as PlayStation, but I wanted to believe that it was. But make no mistake, there are good games. There's like 20 or 25 really good games, if you like retro games, that you can enjoy on this. And some of them do have good graphics, and there's some games that have like 3D visuals. It's still live. That's right, Yellow Kazoo. There's some really good stuff on this. Yes, my Jag CD actually works, MDK. It does. I bought this for $500 last year, which is way too much. Huh, where did you learn to fly? MDK with the deep cut. You probably got that from the AVGN though, because he focused on that a lot in his review of it. Where did you learn to fly? The one Spawn Wave is building is the G-Boy, but shaping and fitting the motherboard on his own. Oh, okay. Control was interesting. Hitaki, you mean the controller probably for the Jaguar? Yeah, Clocked it. What's up, buddy? Another YouTuber buddy of mine. That's so many. Says the first Rayman game is a fantastic and beautiful platformer. I agree. It's still my favorite. Based on nostalgia alone, it's my favorite. And I would love it if they went back to that style. They'd want to update the gameplay and speed up the gameplay, but you know, the new Rayman style is fine, but it's all like weird and they're all like, they all look like they're cracked out. And the gameplay is amazing, but the visuals, I'm like, the art style, I don't know. I would love it if they went back to old school Rayman. Bring him back. The whole thing, just do it. Just do it, Ubisoft. Stop being stupid. Stop being stupid soft and be cool guy Ubisoft. Yeah, from the AVGN. Yeah, he did the cybermorph thing. Where did you learn to fly? And it's so funny because she says it way too often in that game. But it was like, look, we have a voice in a video game. This is new technology. It was really, they just threw it at you. I remember the commercial for the Jaguar. Yeah, Sergeant Craig. That was the do the math. That was the big slogan, was do the math, because it's 64-bit. It's got the history of the Jaguar. The thing is, like, I'm old enough. I was a teenager in the 90s console race, and the 90s video game console race, even outside of Nintendo versus Sega, was crazy. There were so many weird things. That's where your CDIs and your Jaguars and your 3DOs and your 32Xs come from. So everyone was trying to do weird things and get a piece of this pie that Nintendo and Sega were just like destroying. They were like eating the whole pie, but then all these other people, and Atari obviously predates those companies in gaming, but like everyone wanted to do it. And so the 90s console race had all these weird attempts. And it was also when 3D gaming and CD-based gaming was like brand new and was starting to come out. And so you get Sega CDs and 3DOs and Virtual Boys and Jaguars. And like, I lived it, man. I was in junior high and high school and I was eating that stuff up and it was so exciting. Even though a lot of those things weren't good, really only Sega and Nintendo were making good stuff, but it was still just really exciting to see everyone trying. And there are some hidden gems from that era. And so for me, that's the Atari Jaguar. That's why I love it. Yeah, the 3DO. What happened to Google Stadia? It's dumb. That's what happened. Yeah, I think it flopped faster than I think a lot of us thought it would. Google Stadia. MDK says I was a little young, so most of that crap flew under the radar for me. Only reason I had a Sega CD was because my sister's friend gave it to us when he got a PS1. Yeah. Sega CD, man. I had a Sega CD. Sonic CD was awesome. Sewer Shark was awesome. That's about it. Really, really awkward system. Really awkward. But I love that they tried. Oh my God, Eric. Oh, you donated to say, don't cut this short. And I'm literally about to get offline. You're the only homie streaming until Hey Jay at 8. Love you. Well, thanks, Eric. I appreciate it. But it's been an hour and 40 minutes. And 20 minutes ago, I was talking about my voice giving out. I'm really coming to the end of my my rope here. Google Stadia equals burning plastic. Yep. Oh, a Sega CD for Lunar. Yeah, I think the Lunar game on that was supposed to be very good. You're right. You are right. For sure. For sure. I remember the CDI infomercial and saw a Zelda game. Yeah, I actually played the Zelda CDI game in a store. It was set up on a display. Like probably a Circuit City or something, which existed at the time. Motaz Ceta says, I feel Prime Trilogy will never come to Switch. I even doubt the Mario Remaster rumors. Well, I feel pretty good about the Prime Trilogy. That's all I'll say. I feel pretty good about it. Mario Remasters, I mean, I feel good about those too, but who knows? Who knows, man? Back to Nintendo. Where is New Eternal Darkness? Nintendo owns the IP. I know, man. We all want that. Maybe you're good enough, dog meat. Let's find out. There's another deep cut from Sewer Shark. MDK with the gems. Wow, yeah, I need to get something done. But Rob, oh my God, what happened? Where you go? Oh, but Rob is my go-to guy for Nintendo news. I can't pull myself away. Oh my God, Mr. P 1985 is another donation. I've gotten several donations, man. This is crazy. Do cut this short. JK, you're an adult. Do what you want. Thanks. Now I have competing $5. Don't cut this short. Do cut this short. I mean, I am going to be logging off in a bit here. So I appreciate you though, Eric. And thank you, Mr. Pete. First time I played N64 was at a kiosk at Toys R Us. Me too. Such great memories swimming as Mario. I know, man. Oh my God. I would have been 15, almost 16 when I played a 64 in a Toys R Us. And, been reading magazines, like catching up on the Nintendo 64 and screenshots of Mario 64 and Star Fox. And it was so exciting. Oh my God, it was so exciting. Tag a buddy on board. Maybe your voice will be better. Missing bits. Yeah, I can't do that. I also want to eat some food, you guys. I do have to do that. So it's middle of the day here. So Rob, we've both worked in retail. Would you say it's most fun you've had in a job in terms of just enjoying being around video games? Asked my buddy Clocked It. Absolutely, dude. Yep. 100%. My 3 years working for GameStop as an assistant manager, which was in the glory days of GameStop, to be fair. None of this modern crazy nonsense, but 2002 to 2005 was my favorite job I've ever had. Absolutely. I was making, $10 an hour. So it's not a lot of money. It was a good amount of money for that time, but not a lot of money in the grand scheme of things. But I was living on my own with a girlfriend at the time and a roommate. Had a huge group of friends, and a lot of them worked for GameStop too. And it was just a great way to be involved in the gaming culture and in the conversation. Because the internet was around in the early 2000s and IGN was around, but it wasn't up to the minute. It wasn't up to the second. It wasn't live streams and video content. There was no Twitter, there was no YouTube. You went to IGN just to read articles and see screenshots about things. That was it. So the news and conversations you had wasn't on your phone, and it wasn't on live streams and YouTube and Twitter. It was talking to real life people. And if you worked at a place like GameStop at that time, that was your Twitter because it was real people, and you were seeing and hearing from people and getting to know people through that and forming relationships with people. So yeah, dude, that was just my favorite couple of years ever, was working for GameStop in the early 2000s. If I worked for GameStop now, I would probably hate it. But at the time, it was really exciting. I left right before the 360 launched, is when I left. So I went to E3 in 2004 because of GameStop too. So I got to attend E3 back when it was more of a holy grail or holy ground than it is nowadays. It was awesome. With that, I think I am going to cut it, you guys. This has been amazing. Tons of viewers, several donations, which I didn't expect. A lot of my good YouTube buddies popping in, which is really cool. Super Metal Dave, Andre's Restart, Joey Ferris, Yellow Kazoo, Clocked It. It's crazy. Super, super crazy. I really appreciate you guys. Evan from Spawnwave popped in. Clocked It says, I worked in electronics boutique during 1998 to 2000. Ooh, good years. Prime years. Nintendo 64. So I know exactly what you mean about that era. Yeah, man, it was so different, wasn't it? And you predate even me. That's good times. I would have loved. When I started at GameStop, we had a tiny little bin. It was probably 3 by 3 feet large that just had 64 games, and that was the retro stuff that we had. Oh my God, you're donating. I don't want to leave if I'm getting a donation. Tiamir donates. I had to look this up. What is DKK? 50 kronar? Is that what that is? Anyway, thank you for the donation. You say, I'm playing Earthbound and it's so much fun. Here you can download it to your 3DS. It looks and plays great. And it's portable. Thanks, man. Yeah, Earthbound is a unique series, man. I tried it when they launched it on the Wii U. I tried the NES version. I was like, I don't know. I don't feel it as much. But maybe I'll try it again. I appreciate you donating. That is really cool. And I'm glad to hear you're enjoying it. I mean, people love Earthbound. I'm not really attached to Earthbound, but a lot of people really love it. So, whoops. I get it. Donkey Kong currency. I don't think that's what that is. Okay, guys, I'm going to wrap up. Thanks again for showing up. So many viewers, so many great questions, really good conversation. I appreciate you guys. And come back and, keep doing these maybe once a weekend. I'm going to get my podcast off the ground. I am working and researching, and I'm going to start talking to people. OJ and Andres and JJ have all offered to help me to figure out how to freaking do Discord live streams on YouTube. I'm going to start my podcast, a weekly podcast with one rotating guest. And, I'm going to get all guests, big and small. I'm not one of the, yes, I'm going to have some big guests because I'm fortunate. I know a lot of big people and I think I'll get them on the podcast, but I want to give some shout outs to the smaller people out there too. I think it's very important to do so. So I'm not just trying to ride the highs and ride the coattails of the big guys and girls out there. I'm going to get some smaller people on too. That's my plan. So it's going to be nice rotating, big guests, small guests, try to get some people out there and just talk about stuff every week. It'll be a lot of fun. So, I'm working on that next couple of weeks. I'm going to hopefully try to get my first episode out. It'll be a lot of fun. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you for watching this live stream. This was a ton of fun, and I will see you guys on the next one. Bye-bye.